Hey guys, welcome to Miss Lou Champion Spotlight. This week's guest is Robbie Cade Furdge. Let's go! All right, we're here with my friend, Miss Robbie Cade Furdge. How are you today?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing well. You looking nice today.
Well, thank you.
I told her she can't come on here and outshine me now, but it looks like she did it. She broke the number one rule already. She's my Main Street neighbor, and I'll get out of my car and I'll hear Ronnie Calhoun. And you just bring so much energy to Main Street, and I love it. I mean, you know, I know who it is, and so I was thinking of how to describe you to the audience. So many people know you, but for the ones who don't, I was thinking about how to describe you, and these were what was coming to my mind. Big smile, light up the room. I mean, she's one of those people that walks in, lights up the room. Powerful presence. I think that when Robbie speaks, people listen. And uplifting. I see you on social media. You're always trying to uplift people, and charismatic, and just a total champion. And wow. That's why I asked you to be here today. And I want everybody to know out there that that's how I personally feel, and many other people feel about Robbie.
It made me cry.
So, born in Natchez, graduated from Fairleigh High, Alcorn, Tech, ULM, in seminary school at World of Faith Bible College.
Yes.
Founder of Rolling River Reloaded. Created the Hub Business Association in 2018. In the process of establishing a small business incubator. She's a wife, a pastor, a community leader, and an entrepreneur.
And a mommy.
And a mommy. Oh, wow. Yeah. So I left off probably the most important one, didn't I?
Ooh, Jesus.
Yeah. So let's dive into that. That leads us right into, I know your husband, Maurice, and why don't you tell us a little bit about your family?
So my good-looking, hard-working husband, his name is Dr. Maurice Furdge. He's a native of Clarksdale, Mississippi. He's an internal medicine physician, hospitalist as well. He's a travel physician. He travels a lot. He loves me. He loves my son. It is the best decision besides Jesus that I ever made, is being married and in covenant with him. He's very supportive. And especially when you're an entrepreneur, you need a spouse that's understanding of the different types of ventures. And especially when you're a visionary also, right. You need a spouse that understands it. So Maurice is amazing. I would not trade him for anything in the world. And I'm so glad to be his wife, for sure. Yeah,
he's a great guy, for sure. I've kind of got to know him a little bit. What a guy!
Yeah, he is.
So tell me a little bit about your parents.
So my parents are Bishop Robert and Dr. Betty Cade. They are retired educators, 40 years. If you were in the Tensall area, Concordia Parish area, Natchez Adams School District, you are very familiar with them. They're very familiar voices in this community. Leaders. I grew up in a household. Both of my parents were coaches. So everything for me is like sports. We make a lot of comparisons to sports in life. And I mentioned when you said, "Hey, Ronnie," everybody calls me my dad because that's my dad's personality. I don't care where he is going to be. Hey, what's going on? You know,
I love it.
No matter the setting, he's gonna forever be his authentic self. My mom is a strong disciplinarian as well as a very organized administrative person, and so a lot of my skill set when it comes to that, keeping things in order and having that structure, that comes from my mom. So they are amazing people, and they are currently the pastors of Word of Faith Ambassadors Worship Center here in Natchez, also in Fairdale, Louisiana, and they oversee the North Texas location that we have. Also.
Okay. Well, what about your son? Tell us a little bit about your son.
Anybody who has children understands. I'm currently the parent of Maurice and I are the parents of 4-year-old Michael. 4-year-olds are just in a different world. He's very lively. He's all boy. He loves superheroes. He loves robots. Anything. He's very, very creative, very, very smart, very brilliant. He's very loving. And you will see him sometimes saying, hey, just like me and my dad. He's taking on that personality as well. But he's my heartbeat. He's my driving force. When I look at him, I see legacy. My husband and I, we both work hard because we want Michael to have a greater life. You know, we want his children to have a greater life beyond. So he's the driving force behind all of us.
Man, I love to hear that. That's so cool to look at him and see the future in him, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your role as a pastor.
Well, as the associate pastor at Word of Faith, my responsibility is staff development, staff training. I'm over all special events, guest speakers, anything that we have there. I'm over all the auxiliaries at our church. It's my job to make sure that the ship sails, for sure. And very, very into the people. We're about building people at our church. So we like to, I'm the connect to make sure that the people are still connected to the church, connected to God, connected to the leaders, making sure that things are okay in their households as well. So it's a very, very fun role. So I'm kind of like the liaison between my parents and the people, basically. But people have direct access to my parents, don't get me wrong. But I try to make sure that I get in and kind of intervene just in case and take a little bit of a load off my parents if possible.
Yeah, I'm sure knowing you is the time that I've got to know you over the last few months. I'm sure you do a wonderful job of that.
I try to.
You are you're great with people. People love you. People respond to you, and I can see that from the outside looking in. So I'm sure you do a wonderful job as your role as a pastor.
I appreciate that.
We're going to take a minute to recognize a couple of our partners who make this show possible. We'll be back in less than 1 minute.
From regular family checkups to sedation dentistry, orthodontics and cosmetic dentistry, experience dental care the way it was meant to be. Right around the corner from a name you can trust, Miss Lou Family Dentistry.
Come see us for all your handmade and fine jewelry needs here at 415 Main Street in Natchez, Mississippi. You can also find us on the web at riseandshinestudio.com. Always remember to smile big, shine bright, and enjoy the journey.
All right, welcome back to the Miss Lou Champion Spotlight with our guest, Robbie Furdge. How many businesses do you have?
So, Maurice and I collectively, we have 7 businesses.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so...
that gives me stress.
One thing we have learned to keep our businesses within the frame of education, empowerment, entertainment. We kind of don't go outside of those boundaries. A lot of times with business, people get into areas that they have no business in. So, although it seems like a lot, if you kind of track our business records, most of them will kind of fall into one of those 3 categories.
I like that. That's so what are the 3 categories?
Education, empowerment, entertainment. Okay. Whether that's health education through medicine is what he does, whether that's education through business as what I do, whether it's entertainment through hospitality and events and things of that sort, or whether it's empowerment through teaching and coaching and things like that. We kind of have figured out a way to kind of stay within the confines of those, but we're open to anything else, but I just kind of narrowed it down like, hey, we're in these 3 categories.
No, I think there's a lot of genius to that. I mean, I call it staying in your lane, and that's I like that. It's dropped a little bit of wisdom on me right there. I like that.
Dropped.
So what drives you? Like, what gets you out of bed in the mornings?
God does. I believe that we're all here for a purpose, and I believe that we all have something that we're here to deposit, and I believe that we all have some, people that we need to impact, and so that's my driving force, is that while I'm here on the earth, that I make the impact and I have the influence that God wants me to have, so that people's lives can be changed. So that's my driving force. It's not money, it's not recognition, but it's fulfilling the purpose and the plan of God in my life.
That's awesome. That really is. That's a really cool thing to hear. what advice would you give? What advice would you give to someone either young or someone older that maybe wants to start a new life? Maybe they've sort of hit a rut in their life and they want to start following their dreams or whatever. We've talked before about something that you call, the process of success.
Yes.
Why don't you just talk a little bit about that and what kind of advice, what is the process of success?
Well, the process of success to me is learning some very, very critical things. Number one, you got to have people management. A lot of times, I don't know, maybe society now, people feel like they don't need people. And I hear people say it all the time, oh, my circle is so small, it's a dot. Or, I don't deal with folks. But the reality is we are all created to relate to other people. Right. And so learning how to manage people, manage relationships, staying in good connection with your connections is vitally important to success. Because you cannot do this by yourself. I tell people all the time, Jesus, right, had 12 disciples. You know what I'm saying? So right. He had all power, all whatever, but even he had sense enough to say, hey, come follow me. I need 12 of y'all to make this mission be fulfilled. So people management, relationship management is number one of importance. It's very, not just number one, but it's very, very important. Number two is time management. Everything is about management. You gotta be able to manage that time, because even with all the things that my husband and I have going on, we have to manage time enough where we still have that balance for family time, where we have the balance for business, where we have the balance for ministry, and it's very, very essential, because people are like, well, I can't do this, because you have not mastered time. And everybody gets the same 24 hours, but what you do with yours and what I do with mine makes the difference in how successful we're going to be. And also season management. And what I mean by that is life brings different seasons. There's a season of victory. There's a season of joy. There's a season of sadness and sorrow. There's a season of triumph. Right. But if you only know how to manage your high seasons, when low seasons happen, then you're going to get knocked down and you're going to stay down there. So it's very, very important to recognize, like even before, and we talked about this, before I got here, I had not necessarily a low season, but something happened. But at the end of the day, I looked at it like, okay, like sports. Fumble on the play. All right, we got to recover. We got to gain some yardage. Or, there was a turnover. Now we got to play the next down. And that's what you have to do with life. Because if it knocks you back, you'll stay stuck and you won't move on. But those are three vital points.
And it's going to.
And it happens.
You can expect it. It's going to.
And, I'm a pastor. So John 16:33 says, in this world, you're going to have tribulation. Yeah. But be of good cheer, for I've overcome the world. I mean, it's going to happen. Whether you're cute, whether you're unattractive, whether you're rich, whether you're poor, no matter your skin color, life happens to us all. That's right. But you got to be able to manage it.
So now you see why I have her on the couch right here, dropping wisdom on us. So that was good.
Dropped it, Dustin.
That's right. That was really good. I like those, and I really believe in the process of success that you're talking about. All of those really get to a point of really meaningful. We'll be back in less than 1 minute.
Welcome to your new hospital, Trinity Medical. Located in Faraday, Trinity Medical is the only acute care facility in the Tri-Parish area. Here, you'll find an active pursuit of holistic health, a strong, honest group of clinicians, and a consciousness of others that transcends the 80,000 square feet committed to you and your loved ones. Trinity Medical. People you know, caring for people you love.
So we've talked about there's a lot going on in the Miss Lou right now. Right here on Main Street where we both have businesses. What are your thoughts sort of on where the Miss Lou has been, where the Miss Lou is right now, and where the Miss Lou needs to go?
One thing that's certain, people cannot argue with facts nor numbers. And those of us who have been residents or even natives of this area, we can honestly say, no matter who we like or don't like, Natchez is, or the entire Miss Lou is progressing. I've seen it. I've seen businesses starting to thrive. People are starting to move here. Seeing the movie production companies starting to come and shoot films here. Seeing the boats begin to dock here again, and just seeing the flow of traffic that's starting to come back, even in the midst of a pandemic. You cannot argue with the numbers. You cannot argue with the facts. Natchez is on the move. We have been at some low points, and I always say, there's only one way up. If you've been at the bottom, the only way you could go now is up to the top. And so I think our city is on the rise. I think that we have great leadership in place. I think that we have the right people and the right players that are taking a part in it. I think now people are getting more involved in the movement and the progression of Natchez versus everybody sitting back waiting on a select group of people to make it happen. And so I think now we're taking pride in the Miss Lou area. We're taking pride in what's happening here, and I think everybody's kind of trying to get involved and make it even better. So I am proud of what's happening here in the Miss Lou, and I'm believing that greater things are going to come.
So what are some things that we can do moving forward to really take the Miss Lou to the next step?
I think number one, we can actually get actively involved even with our leadership, even with our mayor, our board of aldermen. Sometimes our dependency is on them, because they are the elected officials. But sometimes you can go to your local official and say, hey, what can I do for the ward or the district that you are over? Or how can I help? Is there a community project that I can get involved in? I think we can find our spot, find our area and get in that place and then start to work there. I also think there should be a lot of collaboration. As I talked about earlier, the key to success is maintaining your relationship. Some of this stuff we can do together. We can do a lot of partnerships and make things even bigger. I may have a few dollars, you may have a few dollars. Let's put our few dollars together and let's make something happen. And a lot of times when you talk to people here, a lot of people have the exact same ideas. But it's about getting all of those people in the same room, and so they can share those ideas and we can work those ideas together without anybody saying, oh, well, look what I've done, or needing credit or glory. It's not about getting glory or not about getting credit. It's about taking territory. And so I think that would be even a better part of just finding a space. Where do I fit? Instead of nagging and complaining, saying what, this is, they just focus on tourism. But where do I fit in tourism? How can I help to draw people here to Natchez? Or where do I fit when it comes to recreation? How can I help the kids have a better safe space to play or to grow up in? So I think that's just kind of some of the things that I'm thinking.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. And I think that there's a spot here for anybody that wants to be active and wants to be a part of the Miss Lou. I think there's plenty of opportunity here for that. So you were talking about people sort of getting involved, not being 100% relying on the leadership, but sort of taking the bull by the horn yourself and doing things. And you were talking about something earlier, a project that you're involved with, a small business incubator. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
So I'll start by saying in 2018, I started a hub, a small business association for entrepreneurs. And we got quite a few entrepreneurs who are actively involved, members in that organization. And so from the time being, I started looking around and seeing other places having incubators. And I said, oh, this would be cool, because Natchez has a lot of people who have businesses, a lot of cool spaces, but sometimes overhead, sometimes a lack of information, lack of training, lack of financial backing sometimes, defeats us in that area. And so my husband and I, we live in Tupelo, in that area, Tupelo, Mississippi. So Tupelo has a very, very cool space called the Renaissance Center for Ideas. And it's an amazing space. So I was like, whoa, we need one of these somewhere in Natchez, because I know our people could get the training that they need. And we will be the mecca for small businesses, and we could just kind of take over, because if people like coming in quaint spaces and cute shops and things like that. And so we started looking. So just recently here, I came in contact with two amazing guys who are interested in putting a small business incubator, asked me to be a partner there. And so we're going to have that launching pretty soon. I would hope by January. But it's going to be a safe space where we'll have that co-working space for people starting out, or kind of like I call the upscale library. When things close, you still got a place where you can go, or a space to be around other creatives, and office spaces for people to lease out. Because I know what it's like as an entrepreneur starting out. When you go and you look at a building building and you got this big dream and somebody says, oh, the lease on that is going to be $2,000 a month. You're like, oh my God, I just want to sell t-shirts. Or you go somewhere and somebody says, oh, well, this building costs $350,000. You're saying to myself, I just want to open a salon. Why is everything so high? So I love small business incubation because it gives you a chance to also determine whether or not this is an expensive hobby. Is this a good idea? Or really is this a profitable business that I'm trying to start? So I want to bring that to the area in collaboration with these two amazing guys and whatever other partners that they decide to bring in.
Man, I love that. I've worked with the one at LSU some, and I've seen good friends of mine that went through the LSU incubator, and their businesses are huge now.
Yes.
And they always go back to that's kind of where their seed was planted, and it grew, and they always give credit for that. So I think that's amazing that you're doing that here. I know the guys that you're talking about, and I have no doubt that you guys are going to get it done and get it done the right way.
Yes.
And
yes.
So I appreciate that, and I think the more that small business-minded people see what you're doing, they may not understand it right now, but the more they see what you're doing, they're going to appreciate it too.
Yes, I agree.
So we're going to take one more quick break to recognize our partners that make this show possible, and we'll be back in less than a minute. Hey guys, Ronnie Calhoun here. We just wanted to take a moment to recognize our awesome partners who make this show possible. Trinity Medical Center in Faraday. Miss Lou Family Dentistry in Natchez and Faraday. Sabrina Dore Agency, Vidalia. Hampton Inn and Suites, Natchez. Hicks Chicks in Natchez. Go Mart and On the Go Deli in Natchez. Rolling in the Dough in Natchez. Rise and Shine Studio in Natchez. All right, we're back with the Miss Lou Champion Spotlight with this week's guest, Robbie K. Furdge. My favorite section of the show is called the Speed Round. So, are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw some questions at her, and whatever comes to her mind, you just fire them back at me.
Okay.
All right. Best menu item at Rolling River Reloaded.
Fried catfish.
Fried catfish. Okay. Bible verse that you come back to the most often.
Psalm 91 and 11. He'll give his angels charge concerning me.
That didn't take long. I like that. This is going to get you in a little bit of trouble because I know you have a relationship with a lot of these guys. Favorite player in the NFL?
Oh, hands down, retired Hall of Famer Calvin Megatron Johnson.
she said, forget the rest
I love you,
of
Don Kerry. I love you, Rashad Johnson.
She said, without a doubt. Okay, so favorite team then, since you worked with...
I don't have a team, but if I had to root for somebody, of course it would be the New Orleans Saints.
Okay. I thought you were going Cowboys for a second. Okay.
No, indeed.
I'm with you. Last movie that you watched?
Last movie. Oh, God. Maurice and I watch a lot of movies. I don't even know.
Favorite movie?
Favorite movie would be The Notebook.
If we got in your car right now, what station would be on your radio?
It would be on, actually, XM Radio 64, the Kirk Franklin station.
Okay.
Need motivation.
That's right. Most used app on your phone?
Facebook.
Okay. Stay in touch, right?
Stay in touch, promoting, marketing, everything.
That's right. Last one. So you've got all this stuff going in your life. You talked a little bit about balance and everything, but when you're stretched thin and time is limited, what wins out?
Family.
I like
Did
that.
I answer that right?
I like that.
Look at Dustin.
I like that. So, well, I want to say thank you for joining us today. I had a great time. Learned a lot. You're going to have to go back and rewatch this with your notebooks out and take notes. I'm going to. So I want to say thank you for joining us today. I want to say thank you to all of our wonderful partners, again, who make this show possible. Without our partners, this isn't possible. And most of all, I want to say thank you guys for tuning in. I want to say thank you, God bless, and as always, have a champion day.